right, well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Chapman High School for the site of today's JV basketball matchups between the Chapman Panthers and the Landrum Cardinals. Should be a lot of fun. Both these teams have really gone back and forth over the course of this season. This is going to be the third time they've met in about 2 weeks. They played a series at Landrum, I think about 10 days ago or so. Still not sure on the exact date. It feels like it's been forever. And then just this past Saturday, both the boys and the girls teams met in the afternoon segment of the JV basketball tournament, which Landrum swept overall. And the Landrum girls were able to defeat the Chapman girls, but the Chapman's men's team defeated the Landrum men's team. So those series are split 1-1. Landrum girls leads their series 2-0. Both wins coming by pretty convincing margins, but interesting situation coming up here for Landrum because, as we mentioned earlier in the year, they only have 10 players on their roster, which isn't a ton to begin with. And then entering the tournament, they only had 8 active. Now it's down to 7. Naomi Correia has been scratched. He's on the sideline in civilian clothes. Not sure what the issue is, but she will not be playing tonight. At least that's the way it looks. So they're down to 7. No Kaylee Cortez, no Jenna Holzheimer, and no Naomi Correia. So it's really a double-edged sword in that sense because they're not going to be able to get in as many substitutions as they want, I imagine, but at the same time, their starters are going to be in the game for longer, which gives them more time to make a few things happen. So we can speculate all we want. We really are only about 7 minutes removed from seeing how everything shakes out. Should be a lot of fun regardless. Now, I do want to apologize for a mistake I made at the end of the JV basketball tournament. I'll admit I was very tired after that, almost a 9-hour live stream. We were going longer than NFL Red Zone on that one. Had a blast with it, but man, we all went home and just went straight to sleep after everything was said and done. In that last matchup, Chapman and Landrum had their men's teams playing against each other, and Chapman won that match. I mistakenly said that Chapman won the entire tournament. Chapman's win put all 3 teams, those being Chapman, Landrum, and Broome, at 1-1 over the course of the tournament. And if that was the case, the tiebreaker was going to be whichever team scored the most points over the course of both of their matchups. Landrum won that by way of a 50-some-odd point showing against Broome in their first matchup. They had the most points scored between both of their games, so Landrum was the winner of the boys' side of the bracket, not Chapman. Chapman only won the last matchup against Landrum. So just some more fuel to the fire in what is already a heated rivalry between these two schools, separated by only about a 10-minute drive at that. Should be a lot of fun. The clock here at Dr. Jimmy Littlefield Court says we've got 5 minutes till tip-off. The referees are already getting set, so it may be a little bit sooner than that. Stay posted. Tip-off set to come here quite shortly. And indeed, it does look like we're going to tip this one off a few minutes early. Both teams are already in their uniforms, set and ready to go. Looks like the tip-off is going to be between Pearl Holloway for the Cardinals and Kayla Hardin for the Panthers. And before we can get anything going, we got to get the scoreboard clock reset. It is stopped on 4:40 from where it was counting down. There it goes, back up to 6 minutes. Now, one of the officials went into the locker room. Not sure if they're going to wait on him to get back. It looks like they are. And there he is. Should be coming back into frame any second now. I don't know if this is intentional or not, but you can really feel the tension building up here. If they plan this out, they're doing a good job of hyping this game up. Here we go. Tip-off slated now, and oh, it looked like Sydney Price had it for a second, then it goes into the hands of Grace McDaniel. Price runs right into her, and they're going to rule it in favor of Chapman. Kayla Harden checks it into McDaniel for the first possession of the game. And, man, Whiteside's thought about going for it right there. Had a window open and did not take it. Oh, and tries to flip it out to, that was Madison Blackwell, and just missed it. Ball goes out of bounds, so an early turnover by the Lady Panthers. Now this is Olivia Clayton taking it down the court. Gets it over to Holloway, who thought about heading inside. Holloway now gets it over to Price, and Price from the free throw line was no good. Then it bounced around, still going, and it rolls out of bounds. It's going to be interesting to see how they rule this one, because there was a huge tussle for the ball. They're going to give it to Chapman. Kayla Harden will check in. Looks like they're going to wait for Price to finish tying her shoe. Oh, and Olivia Clayton, or no, that's Holloway having to make some hair adjustments. We'll call that a cosmetic timeout, I suppose. And looks like Price's shoe is back on. I'm sure any of you that watched the LSU-Florida game this past Saturday know that it is very important to keep those shoes tied. And McDaniel airmails it over to Blackwell, and Blackwell got fouled. We're going to give this one to Landrum. Holloway checks it in to Clayton. 45 seconds into this one, still no points on the board for either team. And Sydney Price looking for an open player. Has to back away, gets it over to Farias Rodriguez, who sends it inside where it's almost taken away by the Lady Panthers. Now Olivia Clayton gets it over to, that's Price again. Chapman's defense playing much more soundly than they have in past matchups. And Holloway gonna have to drive this one inside. Now looking to go back outside. That one is tipped and falls into the hands of, that's Polly Arrington going for the layup, and she can't connect. Got a jump ball there at the end. And this one is going to stay with Landrum. And, man, Clayton telegraphed that one, tried to send it straight inside to Holloway. Now Grace McDaniel with the line of the goal. And for the first points of the game, Grace McDaniel with the layup. Chapman takes a 2-0 lead. Holloway getting some blocks down the court and loses her handle on the ball, recovered by the Lady Panthers. This is Polly Arrington heading down the court, flips it over to Blackwell, and Blackwell keeps it in play, and then it bounces off of the shoe of Farias Rodriguez. So Chapman will retain possession. Katie Whiteside's to check in now. And McDaniel gets it over to Harden. Harden has Arrington open, but didn't put enough air on that when it was tipped. I believe that was Sydney Price getting in the way there. Chapman will retain possession. And this one is over the head of Price. Chapman hangs on to it. Now Harden flipping it outside to Whitesides, who can't hang on. Might have had a shot at a three there. This is Blackwell just kind of airmailing it inside, and Arrington almost got tackled there, and Farias Rodriguez eventually comes down with it. This is Savannah Brown, the hero of that matchup between Landrum and Chapman in the JV tournament. Sends it inside to Holloway, and Holloway is able to notch the first points for the Lady Cardinals. Now McDaniel flips it over to Arrington. Arrington heaves it up, and no, rebounded by Brown. Brown driving for the layup. She's got it. Landrum with 4 unanswered now. Both offenses look to be finding their rhythm here. Grace McDaniel. Oh, has that one stolen away! She never felt Olivia Clayton sneaking up behind her. Ball security going to be paramount in this one for sure. Holloway now looking for an opening. Tries to get it inside. She's really stuck and flips it over to Price. Price almost was able to sink that one from just inside the three-point line. And it bounces out of bounds and will go to Chapman. And okay, yeah, this is what we're going to keep an eye on as this game goes on. You're seeing hands on the hips already for Landrum. Chapman has the luxury of being able to make a lot of substitutions. They've got more depth on their roster just because they have more people active. Landrum with only 7 players ready to go for this game. It'll be something to keep an eye on. Madison Blackwell, and she ran right into Clayton. And I think they're going to call Clayton for a foul there. And indeed, Madison Blackwell going to have a chance to tie this game up. Substitution made for Chapman was Polly Arrington exiting in favor of, I believe that's Adeline West. And Blackwell's first shot is good. And shot number 2 is good as well. Tied game. No, this is 4-4. And now Holloway. Oh, has that one stolen away! Whiteside's driving down the court and didn't get enough airtime on that one. Landrum's going to hang on to this. So that's twice now that players have had the ball stolen straight out from behind them. I mean, a little poke on the shoulder, look over there, and then boom, it's gone. This is Holloway looking to hang on to this one. And now backs up, shoots, and off the back of the rim. Rebounded by Blackwell, and she got tripped by Price. I don't know if it was accidental or intentional. And they're going to call that a blocking foul. So it looks like their feet just did get mixed up. And Price tips that one, almost had it. Instead, it's Grace McDaniel driving down the court for the Panthers. And we got a whistle before that shot came in, and they're going to get her for traveling. So that takes 2 points off the board for the Lady Panthers. And again, it's easy to say now, only 4 minutes into this one, but you kind of get in the feel that any points are going to be pivotal. Be interesting to see whether or not that one shot comes into play. Holloway checks it over to Price, who goes for it, and Price just off the rim, rebounded by Brown, set that one straight up, and I'm not sure what happened there. Madison Atkins checked in for the Panthers, got the rebound on the second shot, and then threw it out of bounds herself. Kayla Harden will check in for the Lady Panthers, so I guess no harm, no foul. Flips it over to Whitesides, who can't hang on, and it goes out of bounds. Chapman has struggled with passing. Holloway got boxed in, had that one stripped away by McDaniel, racing for it, and man, that looked like a dog pile, or at least the beginnings of one. Good on the referees to blow the whistle before that one got out of hand. And the Cardinals will hang on to this one. 1:28 left to go in the first. Holloway fakes to the inside, flips it out to Clayton. And Clayton looking around, gets it into Price. Price drives inside, and they're going to get her for traveling. And that one, taken right away by Price, and she can't connect. Ball's loose, still loose, and it's going to go into the hands of Savannah Brown, who flips it back out to Price, but it was tipped and goes out of bounds. Landrum will hang on to this one. Olivia Clayton checking in, trying to find, looked like she wanted to go towards the back of the court. Tried to get it over to Ferris Rodriguez and had it batted back out of bounds. So Holloway, she'll see if she can get this one in. And flips it inside again, and it's taken away by the Lady Panthers. Rodriguez the target once more. Now Whiteside's tried to set it inside. It bounces off of the shin of Olivia Clayton. Chapman will retain possession. And nobody seems to want to check in for the Lady Panthers, and Whitesides will say, I'll do it. And tries to get it inside to Atkins, and there's a jump ball. Chapman's going to hang on to that. Possession arrow goes back to Landrum. And they flip this one out to McDaniel, trying to get it to Arrington, almost lost it. Now Harden has it. Back to Arrington, who goes for three. Almost rebounded by Harden, and then missed that one. It eventually is recovered by Savannah Brown. She's had a pretty quiet first period relative to what she did in the tournament. Lost her handle on it there, recovered by Sydney Price. Price catches a block from Clayton, flips it over to Holloway. Holloway sends it back to Clayton, who sends it back to Price. And three-step violation against Ferris Rodriguez there. Harden heaves that one up for Whitesides. Whitesides flips it inside the West, or no, that's Atkins. Can't connect, and another jump ball, it looks like. Nope, still loose, and Holloway eventually came away with that one. Now driving inside. Oh, and Rodriguez couldn't hang on to it. So, again, 7.7 seconds. This will be the last possession of the first period. It has flown by, but barely anything to show for it on either side. 4-4. Yep, 4-4 after the end of the first period. Defensive showdown, to say the least. Lots of batted passes, lots of turnovers. Should be a fun one. All knotted up. Back in a few moments. Yeah, I tried fiddling with the white balance on the camera there. Image was looking kind of blue, but the results from adjusting it manually looked worse than what we had. So, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's the moral of the story here. At least off the court. On the court, both teams just trying to find some momentum, and you can see the frustration and how far Clayton threw that one. And this is Sydney Price, can't connect there either. Two potential three-pointers, both go well over the rim. Turnover forced. Kayla Harden looking for someone, finds Whitesides. And Landrum going for the takeaway early. Now Whitesides trying to, and man, she got boxed in quick. And it looks like Coach Colson for the Lady Panthers called a timeout to get Whitesides out of that trap block. Clock will stop with 5:35 left to go in the second period. All right, and we are back. And Harden sends this one down the court to, that's McDaniel, flips it back over to Arrington. Now McDaniel trying to drive inside, meets a wall of Cardinals. Has to force it back out, and Arrington all alone going for the layup and overthrows it. Going out of bounds. McDaniel did what he could to hang on to it. And Chapman will retain possession. Whiteside's going to check in, finds Arrington. Arrington gets it over to Madison Blackwell. Blackwell had a quiet first period as well after those 2 foul shots that tied up the game. McDaniel's shot is no good, recovered by Savannah Brown, who flips it inside to Holloway, and Holloway overshoots it, and then comes back inbounds after going out to get her own pass back. Now Savannah Brown looking to make something happen, flips it over to Jordan Higgins, who just subbed in for the Cardinals. Can't connect from 3, and that one heads out of bounds, so Chapman's going to get a hold of it too. 3 separate shot attempts and no points on any of them on that possession for Landrum. Harden flips it inside to Arrington, and Arrington too far to the right. Cannot connect. And now Arrington going to sub out. Adeline West going to come in at her place. Sydney Price trying to find someone open, and I don't know if that was a pass or an attempted 3-pointer, but it lands right in the hands of Savannah Brown, who sends it in from, just directly under the rim, able to get Landrum some much-needed points. And now Sydney Price with a clear lane to the goal, and she missed it! And there was a scramble for it, recovered by Grace McDaniel. She's going to have to beat Savannah Brown, and I think you could tell she was feeling the pressure. Heaved that one up early, recovered by Pearl Holloway. And now Holloway lost her handle on it, brought back in by Adeline West, who gets it over to Blackwell. Now Blackwell with the free lane. Sends it up and can't connect. Rebounded by Brown. Brown flips it down to Holloway. This is the 3rd time on this sequence that has happened. Make it 4. Blackwell's open. All over the place, and Harden finally sinks it. Man, what a turn of events there. So we're tied back up now, 6-6. Holloway sends it over to Brown, who goes for 3, and Brown's got it! Biggest lead of the game for either team. And Holloway tries to strip that one away. And they're going to say McDaniel was fouled by Holloway. Landrum's got 3 fouls so far. Chapman only has 1. Madison Blackwell to check in for the Lady Panthers. Flips it out to McDaniel, and McDaniel sends it inside with Atkins, and Atkins can't hit that one, rebounded by Pearl Holloway. And Blackwell thought about trying to steal that one, but she lets Holloway go, and now Holloway tried to flip it over to Brown, had that lane close up quickly. Now, this is Sydney Price getting out of the paint, finds Olivia Clayton from the free throw line, no good. Rebounded by Blackwell. Sydney Price coming in from behind, and she and Clayton were able to break that one up. Chapman will retain possession. Price sends it out to Clayton, who sends it over back. I think that was intended for Higgins, but had too much air on it. Now Grace McDaniel able to sink that one. Points off the turnover there for Chapman. And that one is taken away by McDaniel as well, and Chapman has the lead. 2 huge plays there by Grace McDaniel. Now Savannah Brown looking to get the Cardinals back in the lead. Flips it over to Holloway. Holloway, no good. Rebounded by Brown. Rebounded by Brown again. And 3 straight shots, all misses for Landrum. But Brown got fouled. Savannah Brown was dead on with her foul shots during the JV tournament. If I recall correctly, she didn't miss a single one between both games. With a chance to put Landrum back out in front here. Oh, and the commentator's curse strikes. First shot rolls off the rim. And the second shot is good, tied up at 10 with 1:57 left to go in the half. And I think we got a timeout called. And no, Landrum was making a substitution there. Higgins checks out, Farias Rodriguez checks in. This is Katie Whitesides heading down the court for Chapman. Beats the block by Clayton, now drives inside, gets it to Blackwell, and Blackwell can't connect. And the rebound taken away by Brown, but had it knocked out of her hand. Landrum's gonna hang on to the ball. Sydney Price to check in now. She's gonna wait for everyone to get down the court. And no, Chapman making some more substitutions. Holloway drives inside, splits two defenders. And they're gonna call McDaniel with the foul. Elizabeth Maloney was the substitute for Chapman. And now Madison Blackwell subs out. And Holloway sends it straight to Brown, and Brown's able to get it after she was fouled. So she can put the Cardinals up 13-12 if she's able to sink this shot. And that one is good. Landrum back up by 3. And oh! Stolen away by Holloway, looking like a football interception there, and then lost her handle on it. And Rodriguez and Price both dove for it. Neither of them got it, so Chapman's gonna get the ball. And Harden heaves it over to Arrington. Arrington got to look out. Clayton coming in hot, and that one bounced off the leg of Rodriguez back into Arrington's hands. Now Whitesides has it, flips it over to McDaniel. McDaniel looking for an opening, and now Harden might have one. Tried to drive inside and ran into Holloway. Chapman's going to hang on to the ball. Five fouls for Landrum now, 4 for Chapman. And Whiteside's going for 3, can't connect. And, yep, this one's going in favor of Landrum. It looked like Harden was the last one to touch it. Price will check in to Holloway. Closing in on a minute to play. And Price going for 3, got it! Her first points of the night coming at a great time for the Lady Cardinals. Panthers all of a sudden down by 6. Grace McDaniel looking to do something about it, and she does. Cuts the lead down to 4. Still a 2-possession game though, and Price wasn't ready for it. And now it's bouncing around, eventually recovered by Savannah Brown. Brown flips it over to Clayton. Now Clayton looking for an opening. Airmails it and leads Price to the other side of the court. Now Rodriguez had a lane open. Goes inside with Holloway, who has it taken away by Harden, recovered by Whitesides. And Whitesides just off the mark. It was going to be a contested shot, and Clayton lost her handle on that one, able to reel it back in. Then airmails it, recovered by Whitesides. 5 seconds left, McDaniel for 3, no, and recovered by Pearl Holloway. And that is how the first half will come to a close. Man, that was something else. 16-12 the score. Yeah, I mean, that was, man, what a half of basketball. Only a 4-point game. This one I can already tell you, it's going to go down to the wire. Neither of these teams giving an inch. They've got the clock set at 8 minutes. We'll be back then. Landrum up by 4 when we return. All right, and we are back and ready for the second half. I was just about to say, yeah, we've got less than 10 seconds before the buzzer goes off to start the second half. Landrum came out of the locker room, I think, with maybe 15 seconds on the clock. So I imagine they've got quite a game plan drawn up. We'll see what they have drawn up here. Chapman's going to start the half out with the ball. Kayla Harden going to check this into Grace McDaniel. 16-12 in favor of the Lady Cardinals. McDaniel tries to drive inside, flips it out to Blackwell, who gets it to Whitesides, and now Whiteside's looking for an opening. Flips it back to McDaniel, and now Blackwell all alone, and just off the mark from three, recovered by McDaniel, so Chapman's going to hang on to the ball. Now this is Whitesides going for three with Clayton right in her face, and it's short, rebounded by Savannah Brown. And taking the shot herself, coast to coast for Brown. Second time she's done that tonight. 18-12 in favor of Landrum. Still just a two-possession game. Neither team has taken a three-score lead. McDaniel looking to draw the Panthers back within striking distance. Gets it over to Harden, and Harden is good from the free throw line. Back down to a 4-point lead. Holloway heading down the court, lost the ball there for a second. And I think they're going to say she stepped out of bounds. And nope, it's going to be a foul against Grace McDaniel. That'll be Chapman's first foul of the half. Holloway almost sent that one out of bounds, and man, Savannah Brown sending that one to no one in particular. That'll be a turnover for Chapman. Harden checks it into McDaniel. Now McDaniel almost lost it. Blackwell all alone again. Oh man, that one had the accuracy just a little too far. It looked from here like it was going in no problem. Would have drawn the Panthers within a point. Instead, the lead remains at 4. Holloway looking to do it herself, meets a wall in the form of Kayla Harden, just heaves it up, and it's off the back of the rim. Rebounded by Madison Blackwell. Blackwell sends it up, and too tall for Polly Arrington. So Landrum's going to get it right back. Now Holloway, this is the exact same play they ran last time. Holloway just drove straight up to the goal and then stopped, and now it's bouncing around, recovered by McDaniel. McDaniel's got Clayton to beat, and she got fouled. All right, so McDaniel to draw Chapman within 2. Oh, and shot number 1 goes off the back of the rim. She still can get it to a one-possession game if she sinks this one. And this one is no good as well. Lead remains at 2 scores. Landrum up by 4. Savannah Brown trying to make something happen. Tried to split 2 defenders, and that's not going to work. Recovered by Grace McDaniel, goes for the layup, and now she's got it. 18-16. Landrum still has the lead, but Chapman coming back into this one. 4 unanswered for the Lady Panthers. Price catches a block from Holloway. Wanted to go for 3, couldn't get a window, and now Clayton and set that one up, and it's recovered by Brown, and she sends it in. 20-16 now. And I think we got a timeout taken by the Lady Panthers. At the very least, it's a substitution. And so Elizabeth Maloney and Adeline West are going to check into the game now. Arrington and Blackwell out for the time being. And McDaniel tried to flip that one over to Harden, got called for traveling. Price just sends it straight to Brown, and Brown rebounds her own shot, and she's got it this time. Still, though, just a 2-score game. 22-16. Whiteside sends it inside, and it bounces off of the foot of Pearl Holloway. And Chapman making yet another substitution. Michaela Maccabee is in the game now, and this pass recovered by Landrum. Price with making a beeline to the goal, and too high, rebounded by Holloway, and Holloway's shot rolls in, so Landrum takes their first 3-score lead of the game, 24-16. Closing in on 8 minutes to go in the entire game. Whiteside's driving inside, her shot no good, recovered by, that Sydney Price. And now Holloway thinks she got fouled, maybe. And no, they're going to say, I heard him say 2 shots. And, I don't know, must be hearing things. Holloway's just going to check this one in. Sends it inside to Clayton, and Clayton's shot is no good. Got a foul. That one was rebounded by Brown, who shot it after the whistle. So no points for Landrum there. Yet another substitution for Chapman. Blackwell's back in the game. West is out. Under 2 minutes to go in the third period. McDaniel just hands it off to Whitesides, essentially. Now flips it out to Harden. Harden's all alone, and she can't connect. Falls right into the hands of Whitesides. Now there's a scramble, and it's bumped into the hands of Savannah Brown. Flips it over to Holloway, and Holloway's off the mark. Tried to do it without the backboard. Could have put Landrum up by 10 there. Instead, it remains 24-16. 92 seconds left to go in the third period, but how large is that traveling call against Grace McDaniel looming from early in the first period? Had a 2-point shot, sunk it easily, and just didn't dribble the ball. Could be a 6-point game instead of an 8-point game. Maccabee checks out. Atkins comes in. And there is a kid just going to town on a pixie stick over to our right. He is having a blast. We are too. This has been a really fun game. Got a stoppage here. Looked like the referee was checking with something over at the desk. And now we're ready to go. 80 seconds left in the third period. Whiteside flips it inside to Harden, whose shot goes off the front of the rim, rebounded by Pearl Holloway. Gonna have to find a way to get past McDaniel. And she takes a step back, sends it over to Higgins, tries to get it inside to Brown. Brown boxing some players out, sends it over to Rodriguez, goes off her fingertips, and is brought back in by Price, well past the 3-point line. And Price sends it inside to Brown. Brown just going to heave it up, and no good. Recovered by Farias Rodriguez. Jump ball goes in favor of Landrum. Possession arrow is going to go back to Chapman. 50 seconds left. Oh, Higgins all alone, and I think that one got tipped. Rebounded by Brown, and she's got it. Landrum up by 10 now. 4-possession game. Whitesides thought about going for 3, sends it inside to Atkins. Now she's going for 2, just off the rim, rebounded by Holloway. Landrum starting to pull away here. Holloway taking her time. I imagine Landrum wants to make this the last possession of the period, and Holloway, just got fouled. Easy call for the officials there. And now Landrum's got a chance to make this a 12-point game. It'll stay at 4 scores, but it'll mean Chapman's got to make a couple more threes if they want to get back into this one. No points on the board yet, though. And there won't be any going on quite yet. Holloway's first shot off the mark. And the second shot is on target, 27-16. Oh, and this is a three-point foul. So the lead can go back out to 12. And this one is off the mark, recovered by Kayla Harden. She flips it out to Madison Blackwell, and Blackwell almost lost it, and she did. Fell on it, but it was out of bounds, so Landrum's gonna have one last chance to put some points on the board. 9.5 seconds left to go in the quarter. Savannah Brown gonna try to drive inside, now goes for three. Oh, almost. And that will bring an end to the third period. Landrum able to extend their lead. They were up by 4, now up by 11. Chapman has some work to do when we come back. I didn't realize this until just now, but if Landrum wins this game, they're going to go to 3-0 on the year against the Chapman girls team. Madison Blackwell looking to change that, and heaves it up. Too far. Higgins and Brown both had a shot at it. Brown is the one that ends up with the ball, and now still driving, trying to go coast to coast again, and she's got it! Savannah Brown just an unstoppable force in these past 2 games. Madison Blackwell driving inside for the Lady Panthers, and this one just off the mark, again rebounded by Brown. She always goes over to that right-hand side. Might be something to look at, and they're going to say that Brown got pushed out of bounds. Or got dribbled that one out of bounds, excuse me. Landrum will hang on to the ball. And they send this straight inside to Brown, and she got fouled as she was shooting. Brown's first shot is good, 30-16 now. And Shalia Proctor subbing out for the Panthers. Adeline West taking her place. To make it a 14-point game, or a 15-point game, excuse me. Brown is good, 31-16. Yeah, there they go. Okay, they hadn't given her the second free throw shot. The scoreboard in here was staying at 30. But they got it changed now. Whiteside's just heaving that one up. And Blackwell somehow comes down with it, and it rolls in. Chapman with their first points of the fourth period. Under 5 minutes now, and Holloway got fouled. They call that one against Adeline West. Landrum will hang on to the ball. Holloway looking for an opening, sends it over to Rodriguez and has that one tipped out of bounds. So now Holloway going to try to check it in from half court. And now jump ball And, man, 2 straight turnovers. Price sent it to McDaniel, and then McDaniel sent it to Price, and now it goes out of bounds. And they're going to call this one in favor of Landrum. So Landrum has checked this one in 3 separate times. Once from Chapman's end of the court, once from half court, and now from their own ends. And now Price thought about going for 3, gets it over to Holloway, who catches a block from Higgins and then has it stolen away by Whitesides. Got a whistle blown, and Chapman's going to hang on to the ball. Didn't see what the foul was there. Chapman's got 6 fouls on the period. Landrum has 4. Harden going for 3, and just off the rim. Looked good coming off her hands, and Harden able to step in front of that long pass from Brown. And timeout called. If you pan over to the right, you can see the Chapman boys team going into the locker room just over in the corner of your screen. There they are. Their game, they've got it slated for 7:30. Given how fast this one was going, I wouldn't be surprised if they start that at 7:15 or so. But I don't know, after that JV tournament, sometimes they would wait to start the games and sometimes they'd just go ahead. So if you're looking for some early tip-offs, I wouldn't get your hopes up. We'll keep that one at 7:30. Until then, though, we still got 4:23 left to go in this game. Chapman down by 13. But they have been forcing some turnovers. Price catches a block from Rodriguez, but runs into West. Still trying to find an opening. Might have one in Higgins, and I don't think she saw her. But they're going to call a foul against McDaniel. And Price is going to get, we're in the bonus now. Price is going to get a foul shot. This one to get the lead out to 14. And it bounced around for a while, unable to get it in. Whiteside's headed down the court, now flips it over to, that's Maloney, and Maloney got fouled. Shot number 1 no good, off the back of the rim. And shot number 2 no good as well. I think Harden tipped that one out of bounds. Or Chapman's going to hang on to this one. Still a 13-point game. Madison Blackwell driving inside, almost had it taken away, and she's got that one. Lead goes down to 11. Savannah Brown flips it over to Holloway. Landrum has really been hugging that right sideline, and they're going to get Holloway for traveling. Chapman has a chance to bring this one within 8. And mass substitution for Landrum. Farias, Rodriguez, and Higgins come out. Olivia Smith has entered the game alongside Olivia Clayton. So all 7 players for Landrum have seen the court now. And Blackwell heats it up. She's got it for 2. Lead is at 9. And Olivia Clayton with some open court. Tipped up by Harden, and now Harden has it over to Whiteside. It's got one man to beat in Brown. And I think they're going to get, I think that was Holloway with a push in the back, it looked like. Yep. And so now Whiteside's going to have 2 shots. 3:24 left in the game. Chapman not going away quite yet. Shot number 1 is on the money. 8-point game. And Rodriguez subs in for Holloway. And shot number 2 off the back of the rim. Remains an 8-point game, and then we got a jump ball. Going to be going in favor of Landrum. Possession arrow is going to go back to Chapman. Sidney Price to check in. Savannah Brown trying to get open, can't find a lane, and push called against the Cardinals. And that's going to function as a turnover now. Harden to check in for Chapman. McDaniel finds Whiteside from the three-point line, and Whiteside's overshot it. Now Price to check in. They send it over to Brown. Brown looking for an opening, and where else but that right sideline. Now driving inside, runs into Harden and overshoots that one. Oh, but McDaniel hit it as it was going out of bounds. So Landrum's going to hang on to it. Sidney Price to check in. Looking for Brown, and Brown's got it. Back out to a 10-point game. 4-possession lead for Landrum. Whiteside's driving in, and she's going to get fouled. Free throw attempt coming up here. This to get the Panthers back within 9. This one is good. Back down to a 3-score game. And she'll have one more to draw the Lady Panthers within 8. This one is good as well. 33-25, your new score. Price looking for an opening, gets it over to Brown, who gets it back to Price. Price takes a step back, finds some breathing room, gets it over to Smith, and they're going to call traveling against Smith. Kayla Harden to check in now. Chapman finally finding some momentum. Can they keep it up through the last 150 seconds here? McDaniel's shot off the mark, rebounded by Sidney Price. Catches a block from Farias Rodriguez, and now is across half court. Gonna drive inside, catches another block. And just slings it up for Brown. Brown got fouled. Two shots, this lead can go back out to 10. First shot is good. And now Pearl Holloway back in the game for the Cardinals. Shot number 2 is good as well. 10-point game. Chapman with just over 2 minutes to make something happen, and they're going to call a timeout. Yep, I already see one of them with the whiteboard. They're going to try to draw something up here. We'll see what they've got back in a few seconds. right, and so here we go. Closing stages of this one. Chapman got to find some offense. Down by 10 points with 2 minutes and 16 seconds left to go. Grace McDaniel directing traffic, trying to find an open player. Flips it out to Whitesides, who thought about going for three. They're going to drive in and goes for the layup, has it batted away. Man, this one's still going and eventually recovered by Holloway, who loses her handle on it, and they're going to give it to Chapman. So maybe not quite the way they drew that one up, but Chapman does have the ball. McDaniel flips it over to Whitesides. Whitesides looking for an opening. Now back to McDaniel. And Whitesides, again, had another window. This one batted up by Rodriguez. Blackwell going for two. No! Rebounded by Savannah Brown, who goes to that right sideline and now stops instead of driving inside. Flips it over to Clayton. Now Clayton going to finish up that play for Brown. Drives to the inside, and now we got a jump ball, so going in favor of Chapman. And Blackwell alone. Too much on that one. Holloway keeps it in play. Rebounded by Maloney. Gets it back over to Blackwell. Just sends it straight up. And it was either Blackwell or Price tipping that one out of bounds. So Chapman's going to hang on to it. And, oh, man, ill-advised shot from Whitesides there. Rebounded by Holloway. Closing in on a minute to go. Holloway is fouled. And shot number one off the mark. Lead remains at 10. Shot number two off as well. Rebounded by Chapman. Kayla Harden trying to find an open man. Gets one in. That's Maloney flipping it back over to McDaniel. McDaniel finds Blackwell. Blackwell for three. Oh, just off. And I was rebounded by Maloney, but she stepped out of bounds. 49 seconds left to go. Chapman going to have to start thinking about fouling. Panthers already have 9 fouls on the game. Or in this half, I should say. Oh, and Holloway's pass goes out of bounds. Too much heat on it. Harden's going to get this one. McDaniel driving inside, loses the ball, and goes right in the hands of Madison Blackwell, sends it up, and she's got it! Back down to an 8-point game. Chapman got to make something happen fast, though. 33 seconds, Clayton with the free shot, got it! Under 30 to go, lead is at 10, 37-27. Katie Whitesides headed down the court. Sending it over to Harden. Harden, that pass too tall for Blackwell. Now over to Whitesides, who goes for three. Off the rim, rebounded by Holloway, and she loses it. Clock continues to run, stops at 9 seconds flat. And I think we got a timeout called by Landrum. It looks like the Lady Cardinals are... And no, they're taking the foul on that one, actually. Whiteside's first shot is off the mark. Shot number 2 is good. Now with 9 seconds to go, it's a 3-possession game. They got to average 3 points every 3 seconds. And running out of time here, Blackwell for 3, no, and that is how this one is going to end. Landrum moves to 3-0 on the year against Chapman. 37-28, the final score. And yep, the Chapman boys team is just a few moments removed from taking the court for warm-ups. So don't go anywhere. Got another game coming up. Landrum men's team versus the Chapman men's team. Those two have split their series thus far. Landrum won the first match, and then Chapman beat them in the JV tournament this past Saturday. Should be a fun one. Don't go anywhere. Just a quick update here. The clock on the scoreboard is down to 10 minutes, so it's looking like this one is going to tip off at 7:15. 7:15 is the tip off. right, so here we go. Tipping off a little before 7:15, actually. Part 2 of the doubleheader tonight between Chapman and Landrum. Now the boys squad set to meet up after the Landrum girls team defeated the Chapman girls team by a, I believe it was 37-28 margin, right?
I believe you're right.
It's definitely a fun game that Landrum pulled away from, pulled away in late. The matchups between Chapman and Landrum, or the Chapman and Landrum boys teams, though, have been significantly more competitive. Both of them decided by single digits. They've split the series 1-1. Chapman can either win 2 in a row here, or Landrum can avenge their loss in the tournament this past Saturday. And attrition early on. Noah Hamlin set to check in for the Cardinals. Looked like they might have called a push against Chapman. I think they're just going to say that that pass went out of bounds. Davis flips it over to Dylan Ballou. And now headed inside. This is Mark Baker losing his handle on the ball, taken away by the steal master himself, Nigel Pate. He had a ton of steals during the JV tournament. And now Nigel Pate going to check in for the Panthers. Both teams looking for their first points of the period. Pate just, sends that one almost straight out of bounds. Great catch by Dalton Mahaffey. And Coleman Gray's pass is tipped, taken back in by Hamlin, who gets it over to Davis. And Davis has the first points of the game. Landrum goes up 2-0. And Nigel Pate sends that one off the mark. Brought back in by, that's Daniel Johnson getting back over to Pate. And now Mahaffey all alone going for the bank shot. No, and Coleman Gray sends it out of bounds. Landrum going to have a chance to go up 2 scores. Flipping this around, this is Braden Mostere now. And he is cornered. I don't know how he got that ball out of there, but we got whistles, fouls going against Chapman regardless. Noah Hamlin will check in now. Landrum kind of slowing things down a little bit, looking like they're just feeling everything out here. Noah Hamlin from right underneath the rim, no good. Jump ball, and it's taken away by Coleman Gray. Good defensive play there. And now this is Daniel Johnson getting it back over to Nigel Pate. Chapman still hasn't crossed half court. Dalton Mahaffey all alone sends it inside to Dawson Waters, and Waters airmails that one. Now there's a tussle, and Waters gets it back. Johnson for 3. Just off the rim. And Landrum is going to get possession here. Mostere flips it back over to Davis. Davis tries to send it inside to Baker, and it's taken away by Dawson Waters. And now they're going to call a foul against Ballou there. And it looks like we got a timeout taken on the court. 2-0 in favor of Landrum. All right, and we're back. We'll see what adjustments were made there. Both teams still looking to find some offense. Nigel Pate going to drive up the right sideline, sends it inside, and they're going to get him for traveling. Noah Hamlin flips it over to Franklin Davis, who gets it to Dylan Ballou, and now Ballou in trouble, and they're going to call a foul against Pate. Now Nigel Pate going to sub out. Ryan Hunter will take his place, and you can see him stand him up on the sidelines. This is something they did a lot during the JV tournament, or now everyone's sat back down, but Chapman had, I think, 6 different separate instances of mass substitutions where they took out their entire starting lineup and replaced them with 5 new players. Something to keep an eye on. And Mastre went inside and got fouled after sinking that one. So he'll have a chance to bring Landrum out to a 5-0 lead here. And this one is good. Landrum up 5-0. Looks like we got a timeout. No substitution. I don't see any personnel changes, though. I'm not sure what that was. This is Ryan Hunter trying to find an open man. Gets it over to Gray. Flips it back to Hunter. And now Hunter gets out of a trap block, sending it inside to Waters. Waters wanted to go for it. Now Johnson for 3 off the inside of the rim. Man, Mastre got hit in the head there. He looks to be okay. Driving inside. Flips it back out to Davis. Davis gets it over to Mastre. Now Hamlin for 3. Oh, not enough distance on that one. Had the accuracy, just comes up a little short. Now, excuse me. Got tripped up by my own words there. Ryan Hunter was driving inside, and there it is. The 5-man substitution for Chapman. Their new lineup includes Hudson Moss, Matthias Scott, Sean Cunningham, Blaine Silver, and Jacob Cogdell. And now Mastre for 3. He can't connect either. No successful 3-pointers. Can Gonzalez change that? Oh, man. That one was in the rim and it bounced out. Oh, and that one all but picked off there by Braden Mastre. Scott just airmailed that one down the court. Chapman will hang on to the ball. Landrum making a couple of substitutions. Jack Clark and Brandon Jackson have come into the game now. Sean Cunningham sends it over to Silver, and Silver, no, but he got fouled. And excuse me, number 42 for Chapman is not Blaine Silver. Blaine Silver plays for Landrum. That's Harrison Bridges shooting the free throw there. Harrison Bridges, number 42. Leads back down to 4. He's able to ink Chapman's first points of the game. And this one no good. Still a 2-score ball game. Rebounded by Noah Hamlin. Oh, and he sent it right to Hudson Moss. And Moss got it. Man, that was a really good takeaway by Moss. And he got fouled. So now they can pull Chapman within a point. Noah Hamlin going to check out of the game. He'll be replaced by Mark Baker. So Franklin Davis, the only starter back in for Landrum, or alongside Mark Baker. And this one is rebounded by Baker. He flips it over to Davis. Now going down the court for Gonzalez. Gonzalez flips it over to Clark, and that one hung in the air too long. Taken away by Sean Cunningham. Cunningham going for the goal, and he connects. Tied up at 5-2-5. And Jack Clark sends it over to Davis, who sends it to Gonzalez. Getting it to Baker, and Baker was fouled by Harrison Bridges. Landrum can retake the lead here. 2 minutes left to go in an exciting first period. Oh, and the first shot goes off the front of the rim. Still tied up. Bridges subs out, replaced by, that's going to be Riley Staten, number 32. Landrum making a sub as well. Chandler Thompson entering the game. And Mark Baker's shot is no good. Rebounded by Cunningham. Now Matthias Scott, the distributor, going to get it down to Hudson Moss. Moss flips it back to Scott, who stays in bounds. And Cunningham lucky to get a hold of that one. Now Matthias Scott back in bounds. Cunningham again flips it over, and now they're setting up Moss for three, and Moss just off the rim. It hit the box and everything, and then bounces off of the foot of Jack Clark. So Matthias Scott will check this in for the Panthers. And now going all the way down the court for Moss. Moss going to try to drive inside and sends it over to Scott. Scott sends it inside to Staten. Oh, Cogdell is all alone and overshot it. Now Scott looking around, almost lost it, gets it back, and has it stolen away, but it goes out of bounds. It'll stay with Chapman. And now Scott has this one driving inside, shooting himself. Oh, just off the mark. Rebounded by Sean Cunningham. Now Hudson Moss has some open room. Tries to flip it over to Scott, and it's taken away by Thompson. Now Gonzalez gets it back to Thompson, who is looking around, finds Gonzalez, who's going for three. And, oh, that was close. And they're going to say this will stay with Landrum, I think. Cogdell was the last one to touch it, and indeed, Franklin Davis will check in. Noah Hamlin re-entering the game now. Jack Clark checks out, as does Mario Gonzalez. He's replaced by William Shipman. Chandler Thompson motions across the formation. Oh, and they didn't go to him. They tried to send it inside, which taken away by Staten. And now going for the layup. It is knocked away. That was number 21, Talon Hillstock. Haven't seen much of him this season. And now this one goes to Hillstock. He's able to corral it. Still going. Hillstock again looking for an opening. Bounces off his foot, but no one in the area. And now Cogdell alone again. Oh, and he just off the mark on this one too. Now Hillstock for three. And Hillstock can't connect, off to the left. 23 seconds to go in the period. Probably got time for two more possessions. Davis checks it into Shipman. And now back to Shipman, sending it. Oh, tried to get it to Baker, and it's taken away by Staten once again. Two steals now. It's going inside for Hillstock, hesitates, and he's got it. Chapman takes their first lead of the game. Now with 5 seconds left, Baker, can he get it? No! And that will bring an end to the first period. Landrum goes up 5-0, and Chapman responds with a 7-0 run. Do not go anywhere, folks. This one is going to be just as tight of a match as the first two were. Back in a few moments. Chapman up by 2.
to, you know.
All right, and we are back ready for the second period. Noah Hamlin checks this in, gets it over to Davis, who gets it to Thompson. Now Davis has it again. Looking for an opening, finds Thompson. Gets it back to Davis. Now going inside for Hamlin. And bounces out of the rim. Hamlin rebounds it, and now he's got it. 7-7. Chapman's unanswered streak comes to an end. They're all knotted up here. Daniel Johnson gets it over to Nigel Pate, so the starter's back in the game for Chapman. This is Dalton Mahaffey, and he's got the layup. Chapman retakes the lead. Mastre checks it into Davis. Now Davis sends it down the court for, if that's Hamlin, flipping it back to Davis. Mastre thought about shooting from way downtown. Now back to Davis. Back to Mastre. Oh, and that one was tipped, taken away by Nigel Pate. Gets it over to Johnson, and Johnson can't connect. Rebounded by Mahaffey, and now Pate thought about going for three. Johnson now for three. Off the mark, short and to the left. Nigel Pate did what he could to keep it in play, but just too far gone. Couldn't keep it in bounds. Franklin Davis will check in. Now Mastre sending it inside. Hamlin from the free throw line. Rolls off the rim, rebounded by Mark Baker, and then taken away. Jump ball. This one should be going with Landrum. And nope, they're going to give it to Chapman. Oh, I read the arrow wrong. Ryan Hunter will check in now. Nine to 7 in favor of Chapman. Chapman is not led by 2 scores in this game, and that's Dawson Waters getting called for traveling, so they will not be able to extend the lead there. Franklin Davis going to check this one in. He's been going to Mastre a lot behind the half-court line, and that streak continues. Mastre driving, flips it over to Hamlin. Hamlin tries to find Jackson, and now Jackson sends it back to Hamlin. Bounces off the fingertips of Nigel Pate. Now Davis just going to do it himself, and he's got it! Navigating a maze of Chapman defenders inside the paint, able to tie it back up. Oh, and taken away by Brandon Jackson. Davis got it! Landrum back up by 2. 4 straight for Franklin Davis. Ryan Hunter trying to find an opening, can't split those defenders, gets it over to, that's Coleman Gray, lost his handle on it, but they're going to call Hamlin for a foul. And I don't know if they meant to do that or not, but they kept the clock rolling during that whistle. So we're down to 3:35 on the arena clock. And Nigel Pate is cornered, and he lost the ball. And they're going to say Chapman will hang on to it. Landrum, yeah, you can see the Landrum coach. He is not happy about that one. Ryan Hunter has it now. Gets it over to Pate. Mahaffey's all alone if they can find him. And they try to get it to Mahaffey, and it's tipped and eventually brought back in by the Panthers. And Hunter heaves it up, almost had it, bounces off the rim, not a bad shot. And I think they're going to say Davis stepped out of bounds. And now another substitution for Chapman. Back to the second rotation of players. Dylan Ballou and Mario Gonzalez in the game for Landrum. And Ballou driving inside and now tries to go back out, and they're going to get him for traveling. Oh, and the clock continues to roll here, and they've got it stopped now. 2:46 the official count, so that's twice that it's been rolled by mistake. We'll see if they try to put any back on. Nope, but the Chapman went all the way up to 20 fouls there. I think they might have hit the wrong button. I think they were trying to add time back to the clock and added it to Chapman's foul count instead, so it went up from 5 and then went all the way from 6 to 19 and rolled back over to 0. They've got it sorted out. That count is back at 5. We'll keep it at 2:46. And doesn't look like they're going to try to put that time back on the clock. We'll see if it plays any sort of role moving forward. Until then, Mathai Scott's going to check into Hudson Moss. Chapman trying to get this thing tied back up. It has been a back and forth ball game all evening long. Now Hudson Moss trying to find someone. Oh, airmails it over to Cogdell, and Cogdell can't hang on. I mean, he slung that one across the court. And now Davis checks into Mostre. Davis got it back, sends it over to Gonzalez for 3 off the rim. And Gonzalez rebounds it. And now Dylan Ballou had a window and mishandled the pass and loses it. Taken away by Mathai Scott. Oh, and he falls over. We've got the turf monster in football. Is there the court monster in basketball? Mathai Scott just tripped over his own feet there. Good to see he's okay. I know those tumbles can hurt when you're not wearing knee and elbow pads. He looks to be in one piece. And oh, Sean Cunningham going right for the 3-point. That was beautiful. What a shot from Sean Cunningham, and Chapman retakes the lead. And 2:02 to play. Landrum sends it out of bounds. They're going to hang on to it. Mostre will check in. I think he's going for Davis on the other side of the half-court line. And now Davis slips it back to Mostre. Set up a block, and not sure what happened there. Ball's going to stay with Landrum. 1:57 to play now. Davis almost lost it, able to bring it back in. Gonzalez wanted to go for 3. Jack Clark wanted to go for 3 as well. Can Davis get an opening? He cannot. Steps inside, sends it. No. Rebounded by Sean Cunningham. By Scott trying to find something. And gets it over to Cogdell. Cogdell now driving inside, flips it over to Cunningham. Cunningham gets it to Bridges, and Bridges just misses. Rebounded by Landrum. Mostre wanted to go for 3. Now Jack Clark all alone, just off the rim. Now Jacob Cogdell flips it over to Moss, back to Cogdell, over to Scott. Scott sends it inside to Bridges, gets it over to Cunningham, to Scott. And Scott, under some duress, driving inside, gets it over to Cunningham. Cunningham got it! What a shot from Sean Cunningham! Man, I was surprised I was able to keep up with that. There were so many passes on that one possession. Chapman takes their first 2-score lead of the game, up 15-11 over Landrum. Under a minute to go in the second period. Oh, and they tried to send this inside to Gonzalez. He is able to hang on to it. Jack Clark looking around, finds Gonzalez. And now gets it over to Davis. Back to Gonzalez. Back to Mostre. Mostre driving inside and sends it into the paint with Jackson. And Jackson can't connect. Rebounded by Coleman Gray. 30 seconds to go. Mathai Scott trying to find an opening. Moss looking for Cunningham. Inside. Broke it up again. Brandon Jackson got a hold of it and tried to send it to Mostre, and Sean Cunningham knocked it out of bounds. Jackson will check in. 22 seconds to go. Substitution for Landrum. Jackson comes out. Mark Baker will take his place. William Shipman entering the game in place of Jack Clark. Landrum maybe taking their time here. And now Mostre driving down the court, goes behind the back, sends it to Gonzalez. Oh, and Great job by Baker to hang on to that one, and he sends it right to Hudson Moss, who sends it over to Shipman with 7 seconds left. 2 consecutive turnovers. And they're going to rule this one in favor of Chapman with 7 seconds left. And Moss just heaves it over to Cunningham, who had it taken away. 3.2 seconds now. Chapman will keep the ball. Scott going to check in. Gets it over to Cogdell, and Scott just going to have to send it up. Oh, he's got it! What a shot to end the period! It's not a three-pointer, but it sure feels like one. Just kind of a Hail Mary, and it connects. Chapman goes up by 6. Headed into the locker room, 17-11. Don't go anywhere. We got a good one, folks. Chapman up by 6. Back in 10 minutes. right, and we're back, ready for the third period of play between Chapman and Landrum. It was a really, really tight match. Both teams going back and forth in the first half, right up until the very end when Chapman was able to jump out of that 6-point lead. We'll see if Landrum can get anything done to start things out. They will begin the half with the ball. Noah Hamlin to check in. Trying to find an opening. Oh, no, looks it over. I don't know where he was going with that one, but he sends it straight to Dalton Mahaffey. And Mahaffey, man, he ran right into Braden Mostere. And I think they're going to call Mostere with a shooting foul there. So Dylan Ballou, shades of Patrick Mahomes against the Ravens. I mean, he looked one way and threw it across the court the other way. And Mahaffey able to sink that first shot. Blue will check out. He's replaced by Mario Gonzalez. 18-11. Chapman able to strike first in the second half. And Mahaffey sinks 2 in a row, so Chapman is able to jump out to an 8-point lead. Substitutions already. Dawson Waters has left the game. That is Coleman Gray taking his place. Franklin Davis had the ball, gets it over to Braden Mostere. Now Mostere looking for an opening. Drives straight inside, lost the ball, but it does make its way back to Hamlin. Now Davis gonna drive, and wonky pass over to, that's Mark Baker, and it works out. Both teams with 2 points in the second half. Coleman Gray was in some trouble, got it over to Daniel Johnson. Johnson drove inside, and they're gonna get him with a double dribble. Still a 6-point game. And Davis takes a step back, still trying to find a lane. Gets it over to Gonzalez. Gonzalez from the paint, he's got it. Down to a 4-point lead. Man, Daniel Johnson slung that one across the court, and it pays off. Dalton Mahaffey from the paint, able to sink that one. Lead goes back out to 6. Still a 2-possession game. Oh, no! Miscommunication between Davis and Mostere. Davis thought that Mostere had stayed home. I mean, he threw that right out of bounds. So twice now, Landrum throwing to air and causing turnovers. And now a turnover for Landrum, forced by Franklin Davis. And Noah Hamlin sent that one into no man's land. Landrum is able to come down with it. And Mario Gonzalez sends it right back to Chapman. Coleman Gray driving down the court. And he's got it and was fouled. So now Coleman Gray with the chance to extend the lead. He can get it to a 9-point game if he makes this. And that shot is good. Lead goes out to 9. Landrum has some work to do. Flipping it out to Mostere. Now back to Davis. Davis trying to find a lane. Can't get one, finds Hamlin, and Hamlin off the rim. Rebounded by Davis, and Davis, I think, got fouled. Landrum will check this one in. Now Mostere trying to find a man. Might have Gonzalez over to the right. That's where he goes. Gonzalez gets it back to Mostere. Now Mostere driving inside from behind the rim. Can't connect. And rebounded by Mark Baker, and he gets it. And got fouled, it looks like. So the lead can go right back to 6 if Baker makes this. No, No, Baker off the mark, so it's going to remain a 3-possession game, and now Landrum thought they should have had the ball there. It's going to stay with Chapman. Johnson flips it over to Pate. Now Pate back to Johnson. Johnson to Mahaffey. To Gray, who wanted to go for 3, and he gets called for traveling. So Landrum does end up getting the ball after all that. We're going to check it into Mosteray. He flips it back to Davis, back to Mosteray. Over to Hamlin in the center, back to Davis. Over to Mosteray again. And now Hamlin, I think he had an open window there, but he tried to send it inside to Baker, and it's taken away. Coleman Gray passes it to Mahaffey, who passes it back to Gray. And Gray almost lost it. Now from the 3-point line, bounces up, no. Looked like it had a chance after the bounce. Instead, Noah Hamlin with the rebound. Now Mosteray, I think he could have taken that 3-pointer. Instead, he lowers his shoulder and runs right into Dawson Waters. And they're going to say that Waters was the one fouling Mosteray. Crowd none too happy about that one. A lot of Chapman fans packed in here tonight. Mosteray's first shot is good. 2-possession game. And 5-man substitution for the Panthers. They've done this with 3 minutes remaining in the period twice. I think that might be the signal. Mosteray can draw the Cardinals within 5. And no, that one is rebounded by Harrison Bridges. Lead remains at 6. Matthias Scott trying to find the open man. Gets it to Moss. Now over to Cunningham. Cunningham, sent it right to Franklin Davis. And Davis goes behind the back, going up. No. Looks like, oh no, Davis got fouled. So now Landrum with a chance to crack 20 here. Chandler Thompson has entered the game for the Cardinals. And this one is good, 5-point game. This one good as well. Landrum cuts the lead down to 4. Chapman really flipped this around. Cunningham airmailed it. Oh, and then Moss throwing to no one in particular. I think he thought Cogdell was going to be over there in the corner. He pointed in that direction afterward. Instead, it's going to be Landrum ball. And great catch by Mario Gonzalez, sending it inside to Baker. Baker got fouled and makes the shot. Landrum could draw within 1 here. So after going down by 9 points at one point, Landrum has come all the way back. They don't have the lead, and I think Chapman's going to take a timeout trying to ice Baker here. But yeah, Landrum was down by 9 points, as much as 9 points earlier during this period even. Gotten the lead all the way down to 2. All right, so Mark Baker to draw the Landrum Cardinals within 1 point of the lead built by the Chapman Panthers. And the shot is no good. The timeout worked. Rebounded by Sean Cunningham, got it over to Matthias Scott, and Scott lobs it over to Cunningham, and man, Chapman has gotten very greedy with these full court passes as of late. That's twice now that they have air-milled it right out of bounds. Chapman does hang on to the ball. Hudson Moss tries to send it inside the bridges. Gets over. Coggle gets it to Scott. Now Scott again! And this one is tipped, brought back in by Moss. And Scott for the long three. Almost had it. Rebounded by Braden Mostere. Mostere trying to make Cunningham miss and steps out of bounds. Chapman thinks this should be Panther ball. Instead it's going to stay with the Cardinals. So they'll say that Cunningham forced him out. And a substitution here for Chapman. Bridges and Cogdell exit the game. Coleman, Gray, and Dawson Waters enter. Davis looking for an open man. Thought about going for three. And now Mostere thought about it as well. Flips it over to Chandler Thompson. Thompson gets it to Gonzalez. Gonzalez, oh, that window closed so quickly. And now Thompson for three, just off the mark. Rebounded by Coleman Gray. Passed over to Sean Cunningham. Cunningham driving inside, and no, but it finds its way back into the hands of Gray. Gets it to Moss, now back to Gray. Gray driving, had hands in his face and can't make it, and eventually brought back down by Chandler Thompson. Thompson takes a step back, tries to find an open man, gets it to Davis, and expect things to slow down a little bit. Sending it inside, and I'm not sure what that call was for, but it goes against Chapman. Landrum's bench seemed pretty happy about it. Dylan Blue replaces Chandler Thompson now. Mario Gonzalez will check in, finds Davis, and flipping it back over to Blue. Now Blue kind of cornered, getting it back to Davis. Davis trying to make some men miss, bounces off his leg, and gets it back. Oh, not for long! Deflected by Hudson Moss and taken away by Sean Cunningham. Now Gray sending it over to Moss. They set him up for three, and Moss has it! Beautiful shot there. Under a minute to play in the third. Dylan Ballou getting out of trouble. Davis driving inside, hasn't crossed the three-point line. Gets over to Mostere. Mostere wants it. Got it! Perfect shot. Lead remains at 2 for Chapman. Now Sean Cunningham flips it over to Scott. Scott gets it to Gray, gets it to Moss, back to Gray. And Gray drives straight inside, and it rolls in! 20 seconds now in the third period. Mostere makes Scott miss, runs right into Cunningham, and sends it out of bounds. Tried to get it to Gonzalez, and Gonzalez could not hang on. 11.4 seconds to go. Matthias Scott checks it into Hudson Moss. Moss gets it to Gray. Over to Waters. Waters goes back to Gray for a long three. Oh, man! What a shot from Coleman Gray! Landrum didn't even try to check that one in. They were staring in awe, just like everybody, I'd say everybody else in this court right now. That was something else. 32-25, Chapman has the lead. Man, we are racing to one heck of a finish. Don't go anywhere. Back in a few moments. Chapman up by 7. right, so here we go. Landrum trying to find some offense. Both defenses playing well. Whoever can find some momentum within these last 6 minutes is more than likely going to be the team that wins it, and Dawson Waters fell out of bounds, but we're going to call a push against Landrum, so Chapman's going to hang on to the ball. 32-25 in favor of the Panthers. Hudson Moss to check in. Wanted to get it to Scott, instead goes for Cunningham towards the back of the court. Now Cunningham sends it back to Moss. Moss driving to the outside, back to Cunningham, who goes into the paint and passes it to no one in particular. Goes right out of bounds. I think he was trying to get Dawson Waters there. And Waters might not have been where he thought, or where Cunningham thought he was going to be. This is Franklin Davis getting it over to Mario Gonzalez. Gonzalez gets it back to Mostere, who goes to Hamlin, who goes inside to Baker, and a push called. And I heard him say it's against White, so Landrum might be hanging on to this. And as it looks now, Mark Baker's going to get some foul shots. Oh, that's right. Landrum. Bonus shot here for Baker. This will draw the Cardinals within 6 if he makes it. And this one no good as well. He missed one earlier after Chapman effectively iced him. Took a timeout right before he shot. And Moss sending it straight down the court to Waters. Back to Moss from the paint. Tried to throw it underhand. Moss says he got blocked. And I think the officials agree with it. And they do, to stretch the lead to 9. No, shot number 1 bounces off the rim. Shot number 2 is on the money, though. Lead goes out to 8, 33-25. Landrum has proved they can score in a hurry. This one not out of reach, but they have to find some kind of momentum. And that's not going to help too much. Pass tipped by Matthias Scott. Landrum does get it back, sending it inside to Baker. Now Baker for the layup. No. Rebounded by Dawson Waters. Flip it back around to Matthias Scott. Now Scott in some trouble. Got it to Gray, and that one is taken away. Franklin Davis, he missed the layup. Are you kidding me? And Mark Baker makes it. And was fouled. So Landrum once again with a chance to get within 5. And got a substitution for Chapman. Coleman Gray exits. Daniel Johnson enters. Dalton Mahaffey also subbed in at some point as well. Didn't see who replaced him or who he replaced. And the shot is good. Third time's the charm for Mark Baker. Lead is at 5. Chapman still slinging it around. Matthias Scott tries to split some defenders. Oh, sent it inside to Waters, and Mostere got it, and then it went out of bounds. They're going to say Chapman ball. Now Scott going to check out. He'll be replaced by Nigel Pate. And Johnson checked that one into Waters, and then also make quick work of knocking that one out. But again, they're going to say this will stay with Chapman. And now airmailing this one to Pate. A lot of contact there, and Pate is able to bring it back in, but Landrum is bent on getting this steal, and they cannot. They left Cunningham all alone, and he makes it. What a shot from Sean Cunningham to put the Panthers back out by 8. And Davis airmails it out of bounds. Nice save by Baker, getting it back to Hamlin. Now Gonzalez for 3, didn't set his feet, and rebounded by Sean Cunningham. Now Daniel Johnson, man, he and Mostere both are just flying down the court. shot didn't have a chance. It'll be Chapman ball. Nigel Pate checks it in for Cunningham. Cunningham drives inside, wanted the layup, and lost his handle on it, and tried to flip it back out, and we'll see which way the referees call this. And it goes against Landrum. So now Chapman close to entering the bonus as well. Nigel Pate sends it straight up for Johnson. Oh, they tried the alley-oop, but it doesn't work out. Rebounded by Mostere. Headed down the court with a full head of steam. Chapman wants a traveling call. They're not going to get it. Great shot by Mostere. Timeout taken by Landrum. 3:56 to go. Chapman up by 6. Don't go anywhere. Here we go. Daniel Johnson checking in for the Panthers. Gets it over to Pate. Pate gets it back to Johnson. Now everybody headed down the court. Cunningham crosses half court, flips it out to Gray. Gray goes for 3. Oh, just off the rim. Rebounded by Mostere. Makes Gray miss. Now Mostere headed down the court himself. Gonna try it himself, and no. Bounces off the outside of the rim. Nigel Pate airmails it. Oh! Man, the Panthers are just too trigger happy with these passes. It's bitten both teams, but Chapman has gotten the short end of the stick in that regard. I mean, both sides have just been slinging it all over the court. Franklin Davis and Mostere playing a little cat and mouse. Oh, and they tried to get it to Gonzalez. It's taken away by Mahaffey, and Mahaffey gets fouled. So not only is Mahaffey going to get an extra shot, but Chapman should be going into the bonus. I think that's Landrum's 7th foul of the half. Yep. So both teams in the bonus now. 38-30. Mahaffey with a chance to make it a 9-point game, and he cannot. Rebounded by Mahaffey. Gets it over to Pate. Now Mahaffey looking for a man. Pate driving inside, and Pate can't connect. Falls right in the arms of Mark Baker. And gets it over to Davis. Back to Baker. Now over to Hamlin. Hamlin got Pate draped all over him, and Gonzalez wanted that three-pointer. Didn't have a window. Sends it over to Hamlin, and Hamlin, I think they're going to call that against Chapman. So, Hamlin's going to get a shot here. And that puts Chapman at 9 fouls, so if they hit the double bonus, they might be in trouble. As it stands now, Hamlin can draw the Cardinals within 7. Three minutes to go. Wouldn't be surprised if we see one of those mass substitutions from Chapman. This is about when they did it in the 3rd period. And the officials discussing something over there at the desk just out of frame. I guess they're trying to figure out who got fouled there or how many shots Hamlin will get. Oh, I think they're trying to get the number of fouls straight. And now Chapman indeed making some substitutions. The entire lineup doesn't come out. Jacob Cogdill has entered the game alongside Matthias Scott, and I didn't hear the call, but the Landrum side is cheering, so I guess that favored the Cardinals. Chapman trying to make some noise. And Hamlin's shot is no good. The crowd noise got to him. Rebounded by Dalton Mahaffey, flips it over to Coleman Gray. Now Gray going for Scott. Scott looking around. And oh man, nobody home again. That is the 4th or 5th time that Chapman has passed it to air. Now Chandler Thompson trying to make some men miss, and he got fouled. So now Landrum goes into the double bonus, 10 fouls against Chapman in this period alone. So Thompson's going to get 2 shots. And the noise does not faze Chandler Thompson the way it did Noah Hamlin. Shot number 1 is good. Landrum draws within 7. And shot number 2 is on the money as well. Chandler Thompson unfazed. And now Thompson going to sub out of the game. He's replaced by Dylan Ballou. Now Chapman playing a little cat and mouse. 2 minutes and 35 seconds to go. Cogdill airmails it. Nice catch by Scott. Oh, he's sending it inside to Mahaffey, who was open, but Mahaffey couldn't hang on. So now it's going to be Landrum ball. 2.5 minutes to go. This one not. Oh man! And Davis sent it right to Mahaffey, and Matthias Scott sinks it. Back-to-back turnovers again. And now Noah Hamlin for 3. Oh, he overshot that one. Rebounded by Dalton Mahaffey. Closing in on 2 minutes to play. Good job by Hamlin not to foul Mahaffey there, but it is going to cost the Cardinals 2 points. Lead goes back out to 10. And oh no, Ballou tried to send it to Baker, but Baker wasn't ready. Now Sean Cunningham misses the layup. Rebounded by Davis, and we got a foul. No, they called traveling against Landrum. 1:53 to go. Now Hudson Moss enters the game. Jacob Cogdill exits for the Panthers, and looks like we got a timeout taken by Landrum. Man, so Chapman turning on the afterburners. It looked like Landrum had a good shot to get back in this one, and then Chapman said, not today. Came all the way back. The closest Landrum ever got was 5. Lead is back out to 10 now. All right, and both teams breaking the huddle. We'll see what they got drawn up. 1:53, the official count. Landrum got to make something happen. Oh, the ref with a little layup there. Hudson Moss to check in for the Panthers, trying to find an open man, gets it to Scott. Scott, lost it for a second, gets it back. Driving inside, gets it over to Gray. Now back to Scott. Scott gets it to Cunningham, back to Scott. Wanted to go inside to Gray, that window closes quickly. Now back to Cunningham. Not sure if Chapman really can't find a window, if they're just burning clock here. Now Scott got fouled. So he'll get a free shot here. Oh, no. So traveling the call against Matthias Scott. This one goes back to Landrum. Chapman did manage to burn some clock there, though. About 20 seconds come off. Under 90 now. Dylan Ballou for the three-pointer. Oh, he felt Hudson Moss coming in. He had to send that one high so it wouldn't get blocked. It is rebounded by Noah Hamlin, who steps out. He wanted a three-pointer. Now goes to Gonzalez, and Gonzalez short hops it. Goes out of bounds. Ballou did what he could to keep it in play. But with 70 seconds left, Chapman's going to get the ball. Matthias Scott subs out. Nigel Pate enters. Hudson Moss to check in. Oh, and more whistles. think they're telling Franklin Davis to back off a step or two. And just heaving it down the court as Moss finds Gray, and Gray, how did he get out of that? A little spin move by Coleman Gray. Flips it over to Scott, or that's Pate, excuse me. Pate was wide open. Man, they all were on that possession. None of them taking the three-pointer. Looks like the priority here is running that clock. Moss drives inside and trips. Chapman wants a foul. And they are going to get it. To stretch the lead to 11, Hudson Moss. And Moss off the rim, rebounded by Mark Baker. Baker looking around, finds Davis. Davis driving right up the sideline. Somehow, nope. I was about to say, that was a really impressive balancing act if he stayed in, and he did not. So with 40 seconds left, Chapman has the ball and an 11-point lead. This could be it for the Cardinals, do or die. Oh, and Coleman Gray wide open and does not take the shot. Still going to try to burn some clock. Gets it over to Dalton Mahaffey, under 30 seconds now. Sean Cunningham looking for an opening, flips it over to Moss. Moss had an opportunity to go for three if he wanted, doesn't take it. Driving around the outside, gets it over to Mahaffey. Got a whistle, and not sure what it was, but Chapman's excited about it. And Moss was fouled. He missed his first free throw attempt. We'll see if he can sink this one. 17 seconds left to go in the game. Blaine Silver entering for Landrum. Noah Hamlin has exited. And this shot is good. Lead goes out to 11, and he'll get one more. And this one is good. 44-32 in favor of the Chapman Panthers, who are well on their way to winning 2 straight against the Landrum Cardinals. Franklin Davis with a quick layup, 9.8 seconds remaining. Timeout taken by Landrum. Down 4 possessions. I'm not sure that there's a ton you can do here, but I admire the effort by Landrum. Playing until the buzzer. And Landrum breaking the huddle quickly. They put 0.2 of a second back on the clock. It's at an even 10 now. Don't know that that'll make a ton of difference. Dalton Mahaffey to check in for the Panthers on what could be the last possession of the game. Oh, slinging it down the court. Pate wide open. Go for the layup. Oh, off the rim. And taken away by Mahaffey, and he's just going to hang around. Oh, but he got fouled with 1.8 seconds left. So Landrum still not giving up. Landrum has 9 fouls, not the double bonus yet, so Mahaffey's only going to have 1 shot. But it'll be enough to extend the lead out to, nope, it stays at 10, and man, if Silver makes that, that was actually really close. And that's going to do it. Chapman with 2 straight over Landrum. Final score on this one, 44-34. And the Panthers come away victorious. And, yep, fans already starting to filter out of the stands. I think that's going to do it for us. Well-played game by both teams. Now, as far as the live streaming schedule is concerned, make note of the fact that we do not have another event scheduled to stream until December 28th. That is the Battle at the Border tournament from Landrum High School. Again, December 28th, the next event set to be streamed on YouTube. We will see you then. Until then, have a Merry Christmas. Happy holidays, happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa, happy everything. Have a good